Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Sheldon here, and today we're on the website of Ingles Hayday auctioneers based in the UK, and we're going to have a look at their latest auction, which is Find Stringed Musical Instruments. So this particular auction is finishing on the 28th of October. It's the 26th today, so a few days left to go. Quite a few lots in this sale, about 275 lots of violins, violas, cellos, bows, etc, etc. Ingles Hayday, usually one of the kind of top auction houses on this kind of stuff, so it should be fairly interesting. Looks like the buyer's premium is 20%, so whatever the final hammer price, you need to add that on top. Just to say, once again, this is a UK based auction, so if you're looking to buy from abroad, then bear in mind there might be some import export kind of fees, CITES restrictions, all of that kind of fun stuff. And just to explain about these videos, basically we look at kind of catalogues for musical instrument auctions kind of briefly and just see if there's anything interesting, but the link to the catalogue will be in the video description, and it's kind of on you to have a look and kind of see what you think. But if you have any questions or any thoughts, please feel free to fire away. Before we get into it, just to say, if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, liking, turning on notifications, etc, because it all does help. So yeah, without further ado, because I've already said too much, let's just see what's going on here. I'm going to skip all of the kind of books and stuff for now, because I think it's not kind of super exciting as such. I mean, it is, but I think we can just go past it. Lots of kind of autographed things, but let's just go and kind of stay straight to the instruments. So I've got an initial violin here, violin ascribed to de Cannet here, 18th century. So ascribed meaning basically someone says that it is, but that is now in dispute. And I have actually gone to view this auction. I went to look at it today actually, so that was quite interesting. Keep going for now. Some of this stuff I think we've seen before. If there's anything super interesting, some nice, obviously some really beautiful examples already. You can see some really great woods there on the back. Here's a violin by William Arthur Beer, London 1929, ex Carados, 5-7. That does look familiar. Violin by Franz Geisenhoff, Vienna 1815, 20-30 on that. Important Viennese maker. You can obviously ask for condition reports and things like that, but we're not bothering too much here at the moment. 35.7 length the back. Max Moller. So yeah, definitely looks like a few of these things are fairly familiar to previous auctions. Violin Circle of Giuseppe Dolens, probably Trieste. Fairly curious. Claudio Perversi, Alessandria 2000. Violin by Giuseppe Pedrosini there, Milan 1914. Some nice instruments in this sale for sure. A few that I think we have seen already. And a Nibale Fagnola there. Got a high tier Italian there, early 20th century. More Max Moller stuff here. Violin by Andrea Castagneri, Paris circa 1745. I have to say I do like this kind of stuff. It's very nice. Violin by Richard Duke, London 1777. Really amazing kind of wood on this particular violin, I have to say. So that's quite nice. A quick look at the length of the back there, 35.5. Some good stuff here. Right, this is actually one of my favourites in all of the auctions actually. Violin by Antonio and Girolamo Amati, brothers Amati, Cremona, 1614, 34.1. It's very small. Hence I think the low estimate. But wow, this what a violin. Really beautiful violin, I have to say. Really did like it quite a lot. So one of the nicest looking instruments I think around. Paul Bailly there. Here's a violin by Gaetano Scarabolto Parma, circa 1920. Okay, interesting scroll. Not sure why the images seem like fairly low res. Maybe it's because we're viewing this kind of in the auction bidding as opposed to the catalogue. But you can check out the catalogue yourself. This, I think, has been in the auction a few times. Violin ascribed to Giuseppe Rossi. Open bids of 2,400. Kind of nice wood there for the back. It's fairly nice instrument. 35.4. It's good size. Violin by Jacob Horrell, Rome, 1740. So it's probably best to look at the main catalogue for better quality images here. There's a violin by Stefan Peter Greiner, there, 30 to 50, kind of one of the most popular kind of contemporary makers. William Luff, we saw some William Luffs I think in one of the Brompton sale. Right, violin by Lorenzo Ventapane, Naples, circa 1830, 30 to 51 bid on that. Yeah, great wood on that. Definitely interesting violin. Got a Viome, so we saw a Viome in the Gardner Hallgate auction recently. So there's a few of them floating about. Violin Circle of Giuseppe and Antonio Galliano, 25 to 35 on that. Violin by Pietro Antonio Malvolti, Florence, 1736. That I think I did see as well. That's fairly interesting. Just have a quick look what the size of that is, 35.3. Lots of Galliano violins actually floating around, not just in this sale but across all of the auctions, but that is a very nice example. 180 to 250,000 on that, so it's a high tier instrument. A few bows here. See kind of similar bows in lots of these auctions, lots of Nürnbergers, stuff like that. Self-rehearing steel violin bow by Jean-Baptiste Viome. These are interesting, these bows. Not sure how particularly popular they'll be, but yeah, interesting that he was making these bows for a time and they are floating around. That's a Jules Fatigue bow there, Bouchard, so kind of high tier or higher tier French stuff. Richard Grunker, that moved past a few Sartres there. Ex Pierrette Gallion. Another one there. Well, quite a few Sartre bows there. Nürnberger. We're just kind of blitzing through. Right, okay. A silver mounted violin bow by Francois Javier Tort, Paris. Ex Benedict Croft. 50 to 80,000, sorry, 60 to 80,000 on that. So, yeah, a real high level bow there. Pierre Simon bow as well. Dominique Picat, 30 to 50. Another Picat there. Nice John Dodd bow. Okay. James Tubbs. It's a nice English bow there. So we're kind of blitzing through the bows a bit, but wow, there's some quite nice things floating about for sure. We're just going to try and get through this as quick as possible. Cello Circle of Francois Cossard there. Cello Hill family. I did have a brief look at the cellos at the viewing, but not in a crazy detail. Cello probably by Bernard Simon Fent the first, 19th century. Yeah, I had a look at this cello for sure. Definitely an interesting one. Some nice Kennedy stuff. The Khalsa School cello there. Cello After Montagnana by Paul Harold, Newark, 1994. Max Moller stuff as well. Okay. Cello Circle of Vincenzo Sanino. I definitely had a look at this, I'm pretty sure, because it had a very cool kind of scroll. So that was interesting. Some cello bows here, Ushar Vigneron. Lots of nice looking stuff here. There's a mare bow actually just back there. Okay, silver mounted cello bow by Matthew Coltman, 2000. A good bow maker. Silver mounted cello bow by Francois Lupo II. Joseph Henri. The Picat cello bow there. Sartre. Hill and Sons. More Hill and Sons. Voltitude. Okay. Whole load of different good quality bows there. Nice Tubbs cello bow. So there's so many items in this sale really. Definitely worth looking at. A few more bows again, so we should expect to see a few more violins coming up. Let's have a look. Another Sartre violin bow there. I've definitely got quite a few. Wow, that's quite a number. Hill bow again. So no end in sight for French bows. Dominic Adam, Joseph Martin. Similar to violin bow by Jean-Baptiste Villaume. Nicholas Mayer. Yeah, quite a lot of bows actually. Viola by Joseph Hill. Viola Central Italy, early 19th century. This was great actually. This was definitely one of my favourite lots. 20 to 30 on that. Really nice viola that. Viola by Giulio Degani. Viola by Giovanni Pistucci. Another nice looking instrument. I think that was quite small. A 40.1, that's not too bad. Actually, what was the size of the this one? 40.6, that's okay. Viola by Giovanni Presenda, 25 to 35, 38.1, it's pretty small. viola by Lorenzo Storioni, 100 to 150,000 on that, 39.3. This is really lovely kind of viola as well, so that's very nice. And some viola bows there, Bouchard. Good collection of things. Lots of different things to look at. Silver Mountain Violin bow by Samuel Allen for W.E. Hill and Sons. Definitely worth visiting the viewings if you haven't done so in the past, so wait for the next ones to come, and the next big set of viewings is probably March next year, but definitely worth having a look at them. Lots of hill bows there. Right back to violins. Violin by James Brown for Louis Panormo there, 4 to 6 on that. It's also a nice looking violin. The Garni violin there. Violin by George Pine, it's quite nice. Lorenzo Ventapane there. Violin ascribed to Carlo Antonio Testore. Yeah, very odd kind of choice of wood for that. Mariani family, that was an interesting looking violin, interesting scroll. Violin Circle of Giuseppe and Antonio Galliano. Some French stuff there. Violin Circle of Giovanni Tononi, Bologna, circa 1700. Okay. Further stuff there. So nice back on that. Violin Italy. That's a slightly quirky looking one. 35.3. So a few of these look kind of familiar from some previous auctions. Violin by Leandro Biziak. Nice looking violin. Raphael and Antonio Galliano, 1850. Violin ascribed to Andrea Guarneri. Yeah, some pretty cool looking things here. Violin ascribed to Anselmo Bellosio, 18th and 19th centuries. Okay. Sebastian Viome there. Another Richard Duke. Giovanni Francesco Ciliato, Turin, mid-18th century. That's a curious looking one. 45 to 60. Actually, what's the size of this one? 35.2. 18th century France. Violin by Alessandro Galliano there. 32.50. I think we're getting towards the end of this auction. Violin probably Dutch. Violin by Gaetano Garda. Gennaro Galliano there, 1760, 100 to 150,000. Yeah, lots of Gallianos floating around. Violin Circle of Nicholas Lupo. Violin by Camillo Camilli even. Ex-Emil Mendels. That's a nice violin. Violin by Carlo Ferdinando Landolfi. It's like 1750. Also a very nice looking violin, and I think that is the end of that auction. So yeah, there we have it. That's just a really super brief overview of what's going on in Ingles and Hayday. Like I said, the viewing was today, or one of the viewing days was today, and it was pretty interesting. So I just thought I'd make you all aware that this auction is about and happening. I said finishing on the 28th of October, and it's definitely worth you checking out. So thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.